Hey, good morning, people. Thursday, the 18th devotion being done from our beautiful prayer garden. It's very cold well, not cold, but it's very cloudy at the moment, so you won't get too much of a sunrise or a sunset or anything, but that's okay. We're on a roll. I want to conclude our study in 1 Corinthians 13 today in those verse 7, 4 to verse 7, and those practical things that real love looks like. And I have a case study for you. But before we do that, let me just read those verses again for you. And wherever you are, why don't you just sit, close your eyes, and just contemplate as I read the magnitude of how practical this kind of love is. It's 1 Corinthians 13, and it's just from verse 4 through to verse 7. It says this: love is, number one, patient. Love is kind. Does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails. It's a great passage. Let me take you to our case study. You would have heard us refer a number of times to one of the heroes of the Old Testament. His name was Job, and Job was a remarkable man, a prosperous man, but a man who loved God and was declared righteous before God. And he loved God even though he didn't really understand who God was. It was at the early stages of God revealing himself to man. But he loved God with all his heart. Satan didn't like him because he epitomized everything that God loved. Have a look at Job's life and see if he didn't evidence all of the qualities that I've just read to you right now. Job lost everything. Lost his children, lost his wealth, lost his hope, mainly in people. Lost many of his friends. He only had 3. He had a cantankerous old wife who kept whining at him. He didn't have much going for him. He lost it all. And yet, despite the allness of his loss, he responded with incredible love, probably simply because of his love for God. And if we get that right, then everything else becomes easier, or we don't have to do it at all. Have a look at the fact that Job was patient. Patience is tested under pressure. I don't know any more pressure that you could possibly have. Lose your whole family, all your wealth in just a day or two. Love for him he was kind. He never spoke out in anger. He spoke sometimes in confusion, but he never spoke in anger. Even to his wife, who told him, Job, just curse God and die. We never hear of him speaking in anger. He spoke with kindness. He was content in all that he went through. He said, the Lord has given, the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. At least I have God, and if I have God, I have everything that I need. And he was totally content with just that. He was a humble man. And he said, let God be God. Who am I to answer God? And at the end, after God spoke to him in the whirlwind and he humbled him, as he said, let me just be silent. I put my finger over my lips and I will sit in humility, because who am I to question God? And God loves humble people. He was courteous, even to his friends, even to those who maligned him and lied about him and told him rubbish. He was still courteous to them. He was unselfish. He prayed for them. Man, when last did you pray for somebody who doesn't like you? I tend to write them off. I'm not going to pray for them anymore. But he prayed for those who hurt him. He prayed for those who offended him. He kept no record of wrongs. Oh, my word. We keep records of wrongs. Some people might even keep a little, I don't know, in their minds or in a diary or I don't know, keep a record of wrongs of the people around them just in case they forget. They never want to forget the wrongs that have been done. He wrote those off. He was a good forgiver. He had incredible self-control. Controlled his words, controlled his mind, controlled his attitudes. He was courageous. He stood for truth. And even when they were up with their prevailing wisdom of the day, which sounded so credible, he said, as much as it sounds good, guys, it's just not true. And he stood for what he believed the truth to be. That took a lot of courage on his behalf. And then what we spoke about yesterday, fortitude. He protected his mind, had a fort in his mind, protected that thing. And he thought that wasn't good, and then he thought he kicked it for touch. He defended his thinking. He had a fort around his mind, and he was able to stand against everything that was said about him, done to him, and all that he had experienced. At the end of the day, Job passed the test, because that's all it is. It's just a test. Now, people, I know that you're being tested, many of you, in so many different ways. But once you have a look at Job's life and have a picture in your mind of what it means to pass the test that you might be going through, the reward is still to come. There is, in a sense, even with Job, there was a reward at the end for his persistence and his courage and his tenacity. But that's okay. If God rewards us on earth, then that's fine. But if God rewards us in heaven, how much better? Just to hear the words, well done, good and faithful servant. So let's go love, like 1 Corinthians 13 does. But here's the key. You'll never do it without Jesus. People who try and be good without Jesus just never be able to pull it off. Can't pull it off. So allow the Spirit of God within you as a believer to live out His life and His love through you, and that one thing could make life a whole bunch easier. Christian life a greater experience, and so many things will either become unnecessary or easier to do. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you for Friday tomorrow. Bye.